been talking about the slowdown of China growth for many years, but Chinese economy is struggling. Definitely not falling off a cliff though. A lot of the weakness that we are seeing is easy signs of a transition that Chinese economy is going through. So back to the property story, I think what's interesting is many of the stimulus, many of the incentives that we are seeing coming out of the government is probably just buying time. I do not see a real revival of the property market at all. I mean, it's all down to demographics. The basic fundamentals are not going to improve significantly. However, the buying time matters because what China is going through really is a transformation, a shift of its industries. This reminds me of late 90s when millions of Chinese workers in conventional manufacturing sectors got laid off. Many years later, we have seen China grow much faster, Chinese economy turning more robust. But those jobs were forever gone. And we are going through exactly the same. Many middle-class, white-collar workers are losing jobs now. But that doesn't mean new jobs are not created elsewhere. In fact, if we revert back to the live streaming property agent we just saw in the last session, there are many new sectors, tech, semiconductor, new energy, EV, are growing much faster and hiring a lot more jobs. Just take influencers as an example. In many other markets, people will think of them as a one-man show. They run a small individual business. But it is not true in China, though. The top influencers, they hire thousands of people in their teams. And by conventional standards, those are actually businesses. Those are large companies. So that's the kind of transition we are seeing in China. And the buying time I was alluding to really is to make sure that Chinese economy is not falling backwards and it will be ready in the next few years for the next phase of growth.
The next phase of growth, and how strong do you think that growth revival would look like? Because everybody is saying now that, for next year, growth is likely to slow down further to 4.5%, which I don't see as a slowdown personally, given the base of the Chinese economy. But what do you see to be the new normal when it comes to China's long-term growth trajectory?
I truly believe people have to get used to an L-shaped recovery, meaning the longer-term growth potential of Chinese economy is going to stay at relatively low level, particularly compared to China itself in the past decade or two. Most of the investors probably should look at an annualized growth rate of 3 to 5% in the next decade. And that's something that I can see to be the new norm for China growth. But it's primarily due to the high base, though. As I mentioned, I do think some of these sectors are going to grow much strongly than the rest.